Everyone, welcome to Let's Talk About Health. I'm Brian Wong once again. And for this session here, today we are going to learn more about dengue and how much damage it can do to your body. 大家下午好。刚才有一些朋友就说，或许呢，我们呢可以以双语的方面来进行，所以呢，我们会一半是用英语，一半是用中文来跟大家解说一下。今天呢，接下来我们要谈的这个话题呢，就是骨痛易泄热症。Now I'd like to invite our panel of doctor and expert to help us understand more. It's my pleasure to welcome on stage Dr. Leong Ho Nam, infectious disease physician from Rofi Clinic. So, Dr. Leong, hi, good afternoon.
Hi, Brian. Hi, thanks for having me here.
Yes, have a seat. So, Dr. Leong is no stranger to us. You have seen him on TV on countless times during the COVID and after that, talking about vaccinations. So, Dr. Leong, you are an expert when it comes to this infectious disease. So, of course, everyone, the first thing that comes to everyone's mind, for this few years definitely is COVID, but that's not what we're going to be talking about today.
No, today no COVID. Today is the danger, dengue of biting mosquito.
All right, so today, this is a very good title. We have a bite to remember. So 今天我们要谈的呢就是骨痛易泄热症。Anyone here kena dengue before 呢？有没有谁中过骨痛易泄热症的？请举手。没有啊？哇，你们很幸运哎。因为现在整个地方唯一一个举手的就是我 ，So I'm the only one who kena dengue before.
我看其他不敢举手。
其他的不敢举手。Okay, so let us understand. Okay, let us understand what is dengue. Of course, everyone knows. It is a mosquito. And what are the repercussions of it? And that's what we are going to be talking about today.
Okay, dengue fever. Dengue is actually caused by a virus, and we call it dengue virus, and it's transmitted by mosquito. So for example, Brian, let's say he has dengue now, and we're sitting close to each other, I won't fall sick. A mosquito needs to bite him, suck his blood, and then it needs to mature inside the mosquito first, about 10 to 14 days. Then the mosquito will bite me. The virus is actually in the saliva. As it goes and bites you, the saliva goes into the skin, and that's where the virus goes inside. So many people will say, "Ayo, mosquito bite you, then bite me, then after that I kena." Wow, very dangerous. The answer is no. The mosquito still has to go through a further growth of the virus before it can spread further.
所以你意思是说，就是说，如果我现在是有这个骨痛易泄热症的话，你坐在我旁边，有一只蚊子叮了我之后呢，然后再去叮你，
是不会传染，没这样快。
是不会传染的，
非常快。因为那个需要在它蚊子里面呢繁殖多一下子，从它肚子呢跑去它的腺，从腺的时候去做个唾液才会传播，所以需要大概10到14天。
Okay, so I mean, yeah, because it's mosquito, right? So what could we do to prevent ourselves from getting the dengue fever?
Okay, so he asked a very good question. What can we do? Honestly, the risk of getting dengue fever in Singapore is extremely high. Do you feel the heat? You feel the heat. When you feel the heat, the mosquito likes it. Because you emit more heat, it finds you easier and bites you. That's number one. Number two, when there's too much heat, the mosquito will go into a biting frenzy. So you realize during the June period where it gets warmer, it bites a lot more. And number three, of course, there's such a weird weather nowadays. It will be shining, then there's rain and shining. When there's rain, you actually have water. And with water, you actually breed mosquitoes. So it's a double whammy for June. So what happens is, if you really, really want to prevent dengue infection, number one, you have to get rid of the mosquitoes. But let's be honest here. Can we actually get rid of mosquitoes? No. Okay, Singapore government has been trying it for the last 40 years. Fail. Okay, fail. We are trying to use immune measures, but still fail. So eventually, if you really want to prevent it, you have to use something to prevent the bite, number one. Number two, help everyone. If everyone were to see something where they potentially may grow a mosquito, get rid of the habitat. Get rid of all breeding sites. no breeding sites, no mosquitoes, no dengue. It's not just for myself, it's for the whole Singapore. So you think about it, NEA got this whole army of people going out to look for breeding sites, right?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, why don't we enlist 5.5 million of people to go and look for them? And when you walk, when you go to work, when you go to school, you see something, you pick it up, you throw it, wow, immediately gone. Number two, we do our part, don't litter. When we litter, we actually allow places to grow mosquito. You think it won't hurt you now? Fine, I agree. But 14 days later, when you walk past and the mosquito that grew from there, it's going to bite you. So it's not worth it.
所以要预防这个骨头淤积热症呢，坦白说，唯一我们只能做的呢，就是一定要看什么地方有积水的话呢，我们就一定要把它给去除掉。比如说，我们很多住在祖屋的朋友们呢，我们都喜欢在我们的走廊那边呢种植一些花花草草的啦，所以里头的那些积水的这些水啊，我觉得比如说你们早上浇了水之后，下午看还有多余的水的话呢，一定要把它给倒掉，
对，
对不对？
所以如果蚊子没有滋生，那的话我们就没有登革热。所以大家合作一下，看到可以积水的地方，把它除掉，没有蚊子，没有登革热，你自己呢也不会感染重病。
Okay, so because well, seriously, like I was asking, anyone here cannot dengue before? No one raised their hands. Probably, they don't really know what is dengue all about. When you get dengue fever, how would you actually feel?
Actually, I should ask you, how did you feel when you had dengue fever? 他感染登革热的时候，他的感觉是什么？跟我们讲一讲。
Okay, because probably this is the topic that I can really relate to because I got dengue fever before, but that was about 20 years ago. It was a very painful experience. First, I felt feverish, 我开始发烧, and then later I feel pain. I feel pain all over my body. 我整个身体感觉到痛，那种痛啊，不是说它这样子的痛。OK， 你们有没有做过 sit up 仰卧起坐 ？OK， the kind of pain that I feel in my abdominals is like I have just did 1,000 sit up. That kind of pain. It was so painful. They cannot touch me like this. If you point your finger at my arms or any part of my body, that feels like someone punching you, like really hard. It was so painful that I cannot get out of the chair. I just collapsed onto the floor, which is lucky worse, because once I fell onto the floor, it became more painful. Then in the end, I have to get the ambulance to bring me to the hospital, whereby they can do nothing for me. They can do nothing for me. They just say that you just have to battle it with your own whatever.
Correct.
Your body.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so you realize, number one, he has fever. 所以记得他首先他有发烧，
发烧，
而且发烧其实很高。那些感染过冠病，现在感染那个骨痛热症，他会跟我讲说，冠病没事没事，骨痛热症辛苦。So the dengue fever is a lot worse off than COVID fever. Number two, you realize he said this, muscle ache, pain.
Yes.
Pain with a capital P.
No. P is capital, A is capital, I is capital, N is capital.
所以痛到半死的时候呢，也没什么药，所以很多人就忘记你在这边。因为 Brian 在这边，我给你一个小小的贴士 ，OK？ 第一，你其实不应该吃其他的药，只有一个药可以退烧药很好，就是 paracetamol。OK， 那个华那个简称那个牌子是巴纳杜。你住巴纳布的话，一天吃最少4次，就是成人是大概吃1 gram。You take about Panadol 1 gram 4 times a day, and that's about all you can really do. But there's something else which is freely available. 还东西呢是到处都有的，就是要喝水，要喝好多的水。You must drink a lot of water. And everyone asks me how much water to drink. Okay, I'm going to test Brian here. Is it 1 liter, 2 liter, 3 liters, or 5 liters of water? 我再考 Brian 一下。 是1公升的水、2公升的水、3公升的水、5公升的水，多少水呢才是最足够的？
你是说当你中
刚
dengue
中 dengue 的时候，
中 dengue 的时候，
中 dengue 的时候，
我只能回答哈，当我中 dengue 的时候哈，我一口水都没有喝，因为他们跟我放 IV drip。
哇，这个
因为我整天就是躺在那边，然后那个医生还跟我妈妈跟我姐姐说嘞，因为is it the blood count right the white blood cells is very low.
Yeah.
And then they told my family that you have just to you just have to make it. I just have to make it through the night. If my white blood cells go up, then everything is good. If it doesn't go up, then you must be prepared for the worst. Which to me is the scariest thing ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There are a couple of things to learn here. Number one, Brian had it when he was 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years ago, he was much younger. OK， 20年前的时候很年轻，
Thanks.
所以年轻人感染的时候通常是没事。
是。
OK， 所以第二呢，他其实担心他在听的，大概在讲的其实是血小板。What he was talking earlier on was actually the platelets where it fell very low. Now I want to share with you again. This is the second secret tip because you are joining this program here today.
Right.
Okay, actually it's not about platelets. It's not about 不是问题，不是在一个血小板，而最主要的其实是那个血的浓度。How thick is your blood? That is more important.
Right.
It's actually called hematocrit. And you remember earlier on I said the most important thing is to
Drink water.
drink water. If I drink enough water, my blood is not thick. Actually, that's the best predictor. That's the best predictor that you do well. 记得，如果你喝足够水的话，你的血不会很浓。不会很浓的话，那你危险其实很低。辛苦是辛苦，但是你足够水的时候，那你可以把那个你小便的时候，同时可以把那个热度全部排出来。喝足够的水，那你发烧也没那么辛苦。So water is most important to help you clear the heat and in turn get you better. So remember, take something like paracetamol. The Chinese will call it 巴纳杜，所以只要吃那个巴纳杜，要好多的水。他还没有回答我的问题。
对，刚才我也想说，Okay, so anyone want to guess or not? How many liters of water that we should be drinking if we kena dengue fever? 1 liter.
1 liter, 3 liters, 5 liters, 5 liters,
5 liters.
哇，那是一种5
liters.
对。Every hour drink.
Okay.
Okay, 这个你说的很对的。Actually, it's fine. So the answer is a trick question. None of the above. The way to see if you are drinking enough water,
Yes.
is to see the color of your urine. OK， 看看你的尿，你的尿越清的话，就是没有带颜色的话，就是足够的水分。这个是故意的，我是在整它的。Okay, so the idea is to try to get your urine as clear as possible. And I can tell you, if you can drink 3 liters, you will barely get it clear. You will barely get it clear. You still won't be good enough. Now, we have a lady here who's really smart, and she says something. Drink every hour. That's very good. You know why? If you try to drink 1 liter at one go, or finish these 3 bottles at one go, you will vomit. 如果你每一下子你喝半公升的水，或者甚至1升公升水，你现在可以，但是你生病的时候你喝下去，你一定会吐的。So forget it. 反而你就骗你的身体。You lie to your body. You cheat your body. How do you do it? Every hour, take 300 mils, 300 mils, 300 mils. 每一个小时喝一点水，这样的话，那个身体比较容易接受。你一下子喝半公升或者1公升的水，哇，不行。So remember. Cheat your body by drinking a bit of water every hour. And the super best trick for today is this. Leave 1 bottle at your bedside. OK, 最主要的就是你在家睡觉的房间呢，留1瓶水，1瓶水。然后你起来小便吗 ？You got to wake up to pass urine. 起来小便过后就怎么办？喝水。So what happens when you wake up to pee in the middle of the night? You drink again. OK, just remember. Water is your best friend, not the doctor. Water is your best friend. 你最要好的朋友 你感染了登革热其实是水。
So just to recap, the best preventive measure, if you have got dengue fever, you should only be, the kind of medicine that you should be taking is just a paracetamol, which is Panadol on the common term. On top of that, we have to drink lots of water. How much water? Well, enough water so that when you pass urine, your urine is just plain clear. That it shouldn't be yellowish at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So how do we know? How do we know? Like, what is the first symptom that you will see when you get dengue fever?
Okay. 你感染登革热的时候，那些症状太多了。When you actually end up with dengue fever, the symptoms are really too many, but there are quite a few that's quite unique. Fever, headache, muscle ache. 这3个呢，发烧、头疼、肌肉疼痛是登革热的主要的症状。但是有2个症状呢，稍微比较趋向于登革热。There are 2 symptoms that are a little bit more specific to dengue. One of which is pain behind the eyes. 其中一个就是眼睛背后有点痛。我一个好医生的朋友呢，他跟我讲说，好像有人从后面呢堵你的眼睛，把那个整个眼睛推出来。So I have a friend who described it to me as if someone's using a pen and pushing your eyeballs out. So it's terrible. The next symptom is actually quite specific. It's actually the back of the back. There's a backache. The backache is quite bad. 有些人就说背后其实相当痛。你看到有背后痛，还有眼睛痛的话呢，眼睛背后痛的话，应该是登革热。So if you actually have pain behind the back of the eyes and back pain, it is highly suggestive that you have dengue fever. But be very careful. Kidney infection may present as back pain too, and it will give you fever and muscle aches. 所以要记得哦，如果你肾脏感染的时候，尿道发炎，背后也是可能会痛，所以你要小心一下。背后痛，你今天听到梁浩南医生跟 Brian 讲话，背后痛就是骨痛热症，不对哦，也可能是尿道发炎。Just because you heard it with Brian here today, back pain is actually dengue fever. No, back pain can be dengue fever or urinary tract infection. So remember, fever, headache, muscle ache, as well as pain behind the eyes and back pain. Those are the more common symptoms.
Yeah, because now we are at a situation whereby we have this COVID going on. We have the new variant of the COVID. And it seems like the symptoms that we get from both COVID and dengue seems relatively similar.
Agreed.
So it's going to be a little bit difficult for us as laymen to identify what are we actually down with.
I agree. So I'm going to ask the audience here. All you need to do is to say yes, 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 okay? What's the symptoms of dengue fever? Is it fever, headache, muscle ache? Yes. What's the symptoms of COVID? Fever, headache, muscle ache? Yes. What's the symptoms of influenza? Is it fever, headache, muscle ache? Yes. What's the symptoms of urinary tract infection? Is it fever, headache, muscle ache? Yes. So actually, fever, headache, muscle ache is a very, very common symptom and is really quite different, quite difficult to tell between them. So for dengue fever, it's actually pain behind the eyes as well as back pain. 那如果大家问一下，最常见的症状就是发烧、头疼、肌肉疼痛，不单单有登革热、流感、冠病感染，全都是发烧、头疼、肌肉疼痛。但是如果要分辨出这个是登革热的话，你就要注意一下眼睛后面有没有痛，跟背后有痛，因为其实发烧、头疼、肌肉疼痛是一个很常见的一个症状。所以大家第一不要惊奇，第二呢也不用担心。那我怎么办呢？如果要确定的话，要确诊的话怎么办 ？What do I do if I really want to diagnose it? Again, a secret tip. This is a secret tip because today you are at Bedok Heartbeat, and the answer is day 3. 第3天的时候是最重要。第3天的时候，你去家庭医生，你跟他讲说验血看一下有没有登革热。第一就是你看医生啊，你相信那个医生讲的话。第二，你可以验血。第3天验登革热血呢，准确性是最高。如果你第3天不验的话，要第5天以上。 你想更了解更多这个事情的话，你可以看看我的视频，在 YouTube 的时候有 Rofi Clinic 视频，我讲得相当清楚。So the most important thing is you see a doctor, trust your doctor, trust your doctor. Then on day 3, on the day 3 of fever, you can actually do a blood test looking for the dengue antigen. So you do at day 3, the pickup is the best. If it's not day 3, day 5. Okay, so again, this is a secret tip which you can only hear it at Bedok Heartbeat.
Okay, so let's say if it's confirmed that you kena dengue fever， 如果说你已经是确诊了，就是你已经中了这个骨痛异血热症，你是否可以待在家里度过这个难关 ？Can you stay at home and just like what you said, just do self-medication and ride through this period of time?
Most of the time, you can self-manage at home, and you learn it. Take a good fever medicine like paracetamol, and drink plenty of water. Get your diagnosis checked, and then recover on your own. 那很多人其实留在家里就会慢慢康复。需要的话第3天去确诊一下。最主要是吃一些比较好一点的退烧药，如 paracetamol。其他的退烧药啊，好像 ibuprofen 那些不大适合，因为它导致流血。Now I just want to stress to you, I really like you to only just take paracetamol. I don't like you to take ibuprofen and the rest because there's a higher risk of bleeding. And bleeding is a problem with dengue fever. Now, majority of the people will be able to recover at home. 甚至98到99%不需要入院的，在家里喝足够的水就可以了。同样，另一个小小的 secret 跟你们学一下。发登革热呢有 pattern 的 ，OK， 那个病毒会出 pattern 的，发烧7天，第7天的时候通常那个发烧就会退了，血小板会跌到第8天 ，OK， 第9天的时候就会康复。So a little trick here is this: fever for dengue fever goes on up to 7 days. 7 days, platelets will drop all the way to day 8 and recover at day 9. So whatever it is, remember one word. Malay word, tahan. You tahan. 第7天 you tahan until day 7, your fever will break and things get better. But after that, please, don't be like Brian, go and run marathon, okay? 所以你7天过后呢，你不要去跑去运动，请你休息多2周。After the dengue fever, you rest for 2 weeks. Don't try to be fit like Brian like that, go running. No, take it easy. I promise you, you will collapse. You will be very, very tired.
Okay, question. Because just now when we are talking about the symptoms of dengue fever, first you're going to have this very high fever. You're going to have body ache, which is going to be pain. But if for someone who has a very low threshold for pain, then probably they cannot just stay at home and ride through the whole thing, right? I mean, to be frank, I have a very high threshold of pain. I am very good with pain. I sometimes enjoy pain, but that kind of pain from dengue, to me, was like unbearable.
So if the pain is really unbearable, speak to your doctor and see what other medications we can. Again, my preference is just for paracetamol again. 如果痛真的是很辛苦的话，看看你家庭医生有没有其他的药。那有时候那个 paracetamol 会加上其他的药呢，来控制那个肌肉的酸度。So there are some medications where they combine with paracetamol to make the muscle aches less. But again, rest. 尽量休息，你休息的越多，你越快康复。记得这个是短暂的。They will come to an end. Everything will come to an end, and after that, you'll be okay. Can I touch on something?
Yes, please.
开始的时候，你们有问一下这边中过登革热，其实。我相信里面这边有人很多人中过登革热，只是你不知道。OK， 我给你2个小小的一些这些简单的资讯。I'll give you 2 little tips about dengue fever. Do you know that many people, the majority of people have had dengue fever and they didn't know at all? 其实很多人感染了登革热，其实他们不知道。给蚊子叮了，78%的人没有症状。 70% of the people having been bitten by mosquito will have no idea that they have dengue fever. So if I were to draw their blood, I will find the dengue virus. 抽他们血的时候，我可以验到那个登革热的病毒在血液里面。所以你想一想，这个人没有症状，还是出去走，然后给蚊子叮了，那个蚊子会传染吗？会的。So you think about it, this person is asymptomatic, has dengue fever in the blood, the mosquito bites him, will he spread? The answer is yes. So this makes the job of eradicating dengue fever practically impossible. 那这个就把那个工作要把除掉登革热，其实是真的是很难。Second one 呢，假设这边 Burdock dengue Burdock heartbeat 全部都是一个黑区，全都是有登革热的这个病例出来，那我们大家就合作把全部的蚊子抓起来，全部蚊子加起来，连每个去查，几%的蚊子会有登革热。Okay, so let's put this scenario here. Let's say there's a hotspot, dengue hotspot in the Burdock heartbeat now. We will catch all the mosquitoes there are. All of us will hunt them down, and we test each mosquito for dengue. What percentage of the mosquitoes will have dengue in their mouth? You want to give it a guess?
I would suppose 90%.
90%. Okay, I'm going to give you 5 figures to guess. Okay. So I'm going to give you a few numbers to guess. Is it 1%? Is it 5%? 10%, 50, 90. 1, 5, 10, 50, 90. Shout out a number. I hear 5%, it's like a bidding war. 5%. The answer is none. No, it's 1%.
Oh, really?
1%. Okay, those men out here, we kena tekan by sergeant before, right? You think you clean up the whole bunk, 100% ready. You go and find one corner, why got dust, drop 20.
Yeah.
I kena before.
Oh yeah, all the time.
All the time, okay?
Yeah.
So you ask the NEA, find that 1% mosquito. I tell you honestly, it is very difficult. So let's be realistic, okay? 我们每个人当兵的时候都了解说，那个杀针来的时候呢，查一下1%的时候就找到那个肮脏的地方，所以把最后那个1%除掉其实是很难。所以我们要现实一点，怎么现实法呢？就是说了解登革热跟我们新加坡会接下来的陪我们走我们下一辈子的路。所以大家要知道一下，记得 Brian 说的 ，OK， 他再重复一遍了。发烧、头疼、肌肉疼痛，吃那个 paracetamol， 喝多一点水，那你是最好的方法。
All right. Well, we did mention that you can ride through the whole dengue fever thingy at home, but under what circumstances when one needs to go to the hospital?
Great question. So when do you need to go to the hospital? I'm going to share with you a few clues. Number 1, if you are nauseated and vomiting. Number 2, you have tummy pain. Tummy pain usually up here. This excludes constipation pain. Cannot pangsai, doesn't count, okay? But pain here and pain down here, you worry. Okay, the nausea, vomiting, tummy pain, those are the 2 most important signs. If you are not able to drink any water, that's a very important sign because drinking water is what you need to do. The rest of which the doctors will determine. Now, 什么情况需要入院呢？其实是你有想吐，或者想有一个呕吐的症状，你喝不了水，没法子喝水。第3呢，就是那个肚子腹部那边有点痛，就是上半身这里，腹部这边痛的话呢，那你可能你应该去看一看医生。记得你没法子水没法子进去的话呢，就是说你生命可能会有点危险。So remember, water. Anything that stops you from you getting water into your body, that is a warning sign.
All right, so just to recap, if you have the symptoms, if you're going to have very high fever, you have body pain, especially when you are so painful that you cannot even drink water, and you have very, very bad abdominal pain, I think that is a time whereby you would reckon that you really need to go and see a doctor. All right? And then the doctor will make the necessary recommendations if you need to be hospitalized. Now, final question, because when I got dengue last time, so my friends were saying that, oh, yeah, you are lucky. You kena dengue once, means you are safe. You won't kena again. 中过一次骨痛医学热症，你不会再中第二次。这个是否是真的还是
Okay,
假
I'm going to
的
ask everybody here, is that true or false? 他说中一次过后不可能中。False, false.
？Anyone say it's true? No, right?
Wow.
Yeah, you say it's true. Okay, how many say it's false? Okay, everybody believe that
Okay.
that is not true. So,
Okay, again, secret tip. Now there are 4 strains of dengue viruses. Oh.
Okay.
So you kena one, you can kena again, you can kena again, you can kena again. 所以总共有4种登革热，1、2、3、4，所以总共可以中4次。那第一次感染过后呢，还不错。第二次的时候会更辛苦。
no way.
Oh yeah, no way, Jose. Yes, the 第二次感染的时候其实会更严重。The second time we get it, it's going to get worse. Okay, the third time, surprisingly, is better. And the fourth time is much better. So remember this one. Number 1, bad. Number 2, double bad. Number 3, good. Number 4, doubly good. So the way to overcome this, number 1 is to don't get bitten. Impossible, right? The second way is to actually, everyone clear out all the mosquito. Very difficult, right? The third way is to do dengue vaccine. There is a dengue vaccine, and Brian here is suitable for dengue vaccine. I'm going to say in Chinese first. 所以你总共登革热总共有4种，1、2、3、4型。你感染1种过后，你可以感染第2种，接下来第3、第4种。第2次的时候反而更严重，第1次不好，第2次更不好，第3次其实比较好，第4呢非常好。所以你第1次感染、第4次感染的时候，不会说是最严重，反而是第2次感染的时候最严重。所以Ryan 这个问题呢，我会介绍他，你要避免第2次的话，很简单，其实有登革热疫苗。So you can actually go for the dengue vaccine, and you should be able, you can actually prevent the second one about at least 90% of the time. 你打了疫苗过后，可以避免那个严重性的登革热，最少有98%。
Okay, now to summarize our little conversation this afternoon, I think we are in this period of our lives that we are constantly, there are just constant threats coming from all sides. So we have COVID, that's not going to go away anytime soon. And then we have dengue. And like what doctors say, dengue is going to be with us all the time. We got to live with it. So there are 2 things. I mean, it used to be just dengue for us, but now there's COVID as well. So, but there's one thing that we can do probably is to reduce the risk of us getting dengue, which is to be responsible citizens. All right? Being responsible for our own life, as well as perhaps keep a good lookout for your neighbor. If they have pots and plants, if they have stagnant water, please also help to remind them to get rid of it. Because I think it is a collective effort for all of us that we are able to keep this dengue thingy to a minimum at least, because we can't totally eradicate it, right? Yep. So that is something that we have to do in our life as well. At the same time, you know, being very responsible and careful for our own safety when it comes to COVID as well, especially when now there is a new strain, and this new variant seems to be like, Doctor, you were telling me off stage, this is lagi jalat.
Okay, XBB is going to be spreading a lot faster than the existing strain. And if you may have been infected in July or June, guess what? Your immunity is almost kosong and you kena again. So XBB 这个新的病毒株呢会比较麻烦一点，因为第一就是它传播力比较强。所以一下子之内可以传给好多人。第二呢，我们新加坡人很多人大概在6月、7月份已经感染了。你感染过后3个月过后呢， 3个月过后呢，那个抗体就不充足，又可能再感染，所以反反复复的，我们会在感染康复、感染康复。但是打了疫苗过后就没有重病，所以这个疫苗还是很重要的。So with these repeated infections, what I'm really worried about are the serious cases. You having been vaccinated will prevent the serious cases. So what if I got a runny nose? So what if I have a bit of sore throat? I will give up all this sore throat and runny nose so as to see Brian Wong here. Okay? But if I am really sick in a hospital, I can't rush and see Brian Wong at Bedok.
Yeah.
Heartbeat.
So I think it all boils down to we have to be very mindful at all times. So on that note, I would like to say thank you very much to Dr. Leong Ho Nan, infectious physician, disease physician from Rofi Clinic, for spending the afternoon with us on this topic of a bite to remember. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Brian.
you.
Thank
A round of applause for Dr. Leong. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
we have to do picture.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.